Their journey was for freedom and to stand up against religious persecution.
Our meaning and former practice was and hath been only of such to dwell and inhabit, whether as servants or free men.
If I were in that situation today, would I take the risk to go out and to go to a place that offered me a chance to do and to practice things the way that I believe that they should be done? There's a reward in that, but the risk is so great.
The Pilgrims had to go through dangerous conditions. They intended to set up a colony in Virginia, but their ship went off course.
People being forced to practice their religion in certain ways, and they couldn't stand it any longer.
And so from the Pilgrims' perspective, it made perfect sense to leave. Here's the problem. I don't think it's a question of right or wrong. I think we need to understand why they left. And they didn't like the church structure. They thought it was too Catholic, okay? Whether I agree with them or not depends on whether I believe that they have the right path to salvation or not.
Plymouth Rock is the stone upon which the Pilgrims were said to have stepped in 1620. It weighs 20,000 pounds in its original form.
Their feet were firmly planted in the rock of aristocracy, but that rock was needed in the sands or the boulder of the New World.
The Pilgrims, also known as the Separatists, were very poor. Many of them were forced to work difficult jobs all day for very little money.
People being forced to practice their religion in certain ways, and they couldn't stand it any longer.
The Separatists left England and started a settlement of their own so that they could practice their religion the way they wanted.
What they want is religious freedom for themselves.
The Pilgrims didn't only establish our first colony, but they also affected our religious history and how we practice it today.
Something new. In the church world, in the religious world, we talk about going on a pilgrimage to find something.
What this meant is, as the way that the Pilgrims saw it, if you're doing something wrong, okay, that's not just a sin against God. It's a problem for the community because God will punish.
The Mayflower was a merchant ship that landed safely on the shore of Cape Cod, November 11th, 1620. Usually the Mayflower's cargo was wine and dry goods, but this time 102 passengers were on board, all hoping to start a new life in the New World. Not only passengers, but there were dogs, cats, sheep, goats, and chickens on the ship. For the first few months, they lived between the ship and shore while building. Plymouth Colony lasted from 1620 to 1691. It had been previously surveyed by Captain John Smith. The Pilgrims taught us to stand up for our religious beliefs. Without their journey, we may not even have the choice to choose our religion today.